Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I am super excited for our day 2 of our halfway hustle. And so you guys are showing your commitment to your goals and the remaining 6 months of the year by being here. So I'm really excited. I was testing out the audio with Mary Ellen right before this, if you guys were calling in and you heard us talking, because I'm on my own here tonight. Usually, I have John with me, and he decided to take my daughter Mila to the mall so that we could do this and have some quiet in the house so that we can get this done tonight. So he's not here. It's me alone. So of course they changed all like the dial-in numbers on me and like how you dial in for myself. So I wanted to test it and make sure that it works because I've not done one of these in a while. A lot of you guys on the call know I used to do these a lot more, but I haven't done one. So now that I'm back in San Diego, we're getting in a better groove and putting out more content for you guys. So I'm really excited about that. But let's chat about why you are all here today. You guys are all here for the halfway hustle, day number 2. So if you're on day number 2, it means you're doing something right. It means you did day number 1, hopefully. If you didn't, that's okay. We're going to kind of review it a little bit here. But today we're on day 2. So let's talk about yesterday. Like, what did we do in day 1 just to make sure that you're all caught up, because it really doesn't take that long to do this. It's fairly quick. I know it took me 10 minutes yesterday because I'm doing this with you guys. It took me 10 minutes yesterday, 10 minutes today to do today's work. So it's really not that much time, but it can do wonders for your goals and helping you reach your goals and making your plan and putting it all together. So yesterday, we talked about reviewing the first half of your year. We talked about what did you accomplish so far in 2016 that you're proud of. And remember, if you have questions, you can use the Q&A section of, if you're watching this online, there's a question and answer section. There's also a chat section, so I'm going to be monitoring them too. I'm doing it all here. And then if you do want to ask me a question in person, we also have that availability. So you would just press *2 to raise your hand, and we can just chat your question out if you'd prefer to do that too. So questions in the question box, chat box, and then *2 to raise your hand. And I'll get to those questions towards the end. This is not going to go too long. I just want to do a quick check-in with you guys on day 2. So every day of the challenge or the hustle, I'm trying to do a check-in with you guys just to make sure you're on track, hold you accountable. And because it's just fun to do this stuff, there's so many ways to interact with you all right now with social media. I just discovered Facebook Live, and I'm loving teaching that way too. And so this teleseminar way has been the way I've normally done my events. So the past 3 years, just holding calls like this. So I'm very familiar with calls like this. I love doing calls like this, but so I'm really excited to get started. So reviewing the first half of your year, what did you accomplish so far in 2016 that you're proud of? And what worked well, what did not work well? Because we want to keep going to doing more of this stuff that worked well. So right before this call, Mary Ellen was telling me about a client that she got. So if you are a business owner, it's looking back at the last 6 months, like how did you get the most of your income for your business? Look at those numbers. What is working? What is not working? Where are you spending a ton of time that's just not working for you and the income isn't coming in? And then we can refocus. It's also like your website. Where is most of your traffic coming in? And we can focus more of the time on your website. If you're job searching, we could be focusing on where are most of your opportunities coming from. If you have been around here at all, I'm a huge fan of networking. I believe if you're job searching, you should be thinking about a career change over the next year or two. You should be networking 80% of the time, and you should not be focusing too much on resumes, cover letters, online job searching. So thinking about what worked well in your career the last 6 months. Maybe you had a promotion, maybe you had a job change, maybe you started your business, maybe you committed to start your business, and these next 6 months you really want to kick it into high gear and make some even bigger things happen for the next 6 months. So what worked well, what did not work well? I went through all of my stuff in yesterday's Facebook Live, so make sure you watch yesterday's video where I walk through these questions more in depth. But you also want to think about what time and energy sucks are you currently facing? There's always room for improvement. There's always 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. There's always waking up earlier. There's always, maybe not watching The Bachelorette or, some TV show or something like that. I know we moved back. Now we moved back in April to San Diego. So this is our new house. And we didn't get a TV. So we sold our TV when we left San Diego back in August, and we have yet to replace it. And we probably won't, because we're just nose to the ground. We're working or we're spending time with our family. Of course, we can watch stuff on our computers or our iPads. So just think about, where is that time suck? Where are you wasting time? And then what could you improve on? So that's always a good reflection to do in the next 6 months. Like, where could you improve? Okay, so let's dive into day 2 then. Day 2 is really, really fun because you just get to envision what you want this next 6 months to look like. You get to look forward and create your goals for the rest of the year. As I'm doing this with you, I'm realizing my goals have actually changed since the beginning of the year. I've changed, I've grown. Back in January, I was living in Iowa with my brother. Our whole family was there. A lot has changed now in June. So my goals have kind of changed. I've grown a lot. I've changed a lot. So that's why it's so important. This 6-month check-in, this halfway hustle is really important to look back at those goals you hopefully wrote down in January and reassess. Are they still your goals? Do you need to change anything? And a lot of times we get overwhelmed with like the how are we going to meet our goals? So that's why this today is so important, because you're not going to worry about the how. You're not going to worry about how you're going to get there, because that's what tomorrow's for. That will help us plan out what actions we need to take. But today is really for thinking these questions. If you could have anything you want to have happen in your life over the next 6 months, what are those top 3 things? So I am all about prioritizing. I think it's really important. 3 is like my magic number. I always prioritize 3 things I need to do each week, 3 things I need to do each day. And so here right now, like 3 things, 3 like main priorities. These aren't like to-dos. This is like a big goal for the next 6 months. 3 things that you want to have happen in your life over the next 6 months. It doesn't have to be all career related. One of mine is by the end of this year, I want to feel really healthy and happy and strong. So that's what I wrote when I was doing this earlier today. So you guys pushed me too. Like, I probably wouldn't have done, written this stuff down if I wasn't doing this with you as well. And so it's really important to write those down. Do this with me right now. Take out a pen and paper if you haven't done this yet. Think about in the next 6 months, what are those top 3 things that you really want to happen in your life? I want to help, by 2018, our mission, if you've heard it, is to help 2,000 women launch their dream careers or businesses by 2018. So I've kind of backtracked that. By 2017, I want to start with helping at least 500 women launch their dream careers and businesses. So that's one of my goals. And it's funny, like, this kind of goes into making sure, and this is kind of what we were talking about a little bit the other day, but making sure you're sharing those goals with the right people, because unfortunately not everyone will be completely supportive of these goals. And that's why I've worked so hard to try and create this community, the Love Your Work and Life ladies, and then both of my membership sites, Corporate Rescue Plan and Love Your Career Formula, so that you have the support you need, because I know I don't always get the support I need. And just as an example, a couple weeks ago, I said that number to a coach, and he told me that he thought that was too high and I should probably bring my goals a little down to something that could actually happen. And so that really, like, of course, right then and there, I was like, wow, that's just too big of a goal, I guess. I won't hit, I won't be able to impact 500 women this year. And then later on, I was like, why is he telling me that? Like, he should not be telling me that. I need someone on my team who says, heck yes, you can do that. You will do that. And because I know I can do that. So, think of those people that are on your support team. Make sure you have cheerleaders like that are cheering you on, that know what you're capable of, that push you. I'm all for, someone, and he didn't really know me that well. He didn't know my brand. He didn't know what I had already built or anything like that. So, I have to give him benefit of the doubt. He thought I was just, starting and trying to help 500 people by the end of the month or end of the year. But anyways, just wanted to make that point of, these are your goals. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to cheer you on. We'd love to help you with them. But just when you're telling other people too, not everyone is as positive as this group right here, right? These people that want to support and help you. Another one of mine is to double our page views on classycareergirl.com. That was kind of my big goal for the beginning of the year, and so I'm still on track with that one. I want to keep going because it all factors into number 2, the second question that we need to ask ourselves about these top 3 priorities, and that's a why. Why are these goals so important to you? Why do you want those 3 things? And so, my doubling my page views, that has nothing to do with me. That's more of you guys reading my content that's helping you and leading you into launching your dream career and business. And so the more people that are reading, the more page views, the more visitors that are coming to my site, the more people that I'm helping and the closer I'm getting to reaching my goals and completing my mission. So that's my why, and impacting others with my content and my training and being my best self at all times. So think about you too. And I also wanted to read, I posted this too in the Facebook group, I think a long time ago, like about what your why is too. And I think this is just, a really big question to ask yourself just in general, your purpose, your vision, for your career, for your business, if you have one, is really thinking about what your why is, because we work so hard, right? We work so hard on what we're doing. If you're in my community, that means you work hard. If you're on this call, if you're in something called the Halfway Hustle, we work hard and we're very ambitious. So it's important that what you're working on, you have that why to back you up. So in my previous career as a consultant, I didn't have the why. I was working so hard, like so hard, but that why was really missing for me. So I ended up totally burnt out, totally stressed. It just was not, I needed to make a big career change. So thinking about the why is really, really important. And then the last thing that you'll think about today in our day 2 is really, who do you have to become to make your goals happen? Big question. I know, one of the things that I had to start realizing is when I wanted to be a career coach and I was just starting down that path to become a career coach at the time, I had to start becoming a career coach. I had to start thinking of myself as a career coach. And even now, as I've transitioned, now I think of myself more as a CEO, and that's a huge transition from, coach running a business to now a CEO with a team running a business. And so that's kind of the transition that I'm still making, and one of my goals for the next 6 months too, thinking about who do you have to become. So maybe that's calling yourself, an actual entrepreneur if you kind of think you want to start a business someday. Maybe it's calling yourself a different job title than maybe your boss calls you or something, because you really do something different in your job. And so really thinking about who you have to become. Possibly maybe you have to, be a studier, be a learner. That's one of the things I have on here. I have to, do more research, do more studying, be more productive. I also wrote on here, I have to be more myself. Over this last month, I've been more myself, and I feel like that's really resonated with you guys, and it's been my brand has grown because I'm doing more teaching and more training and a lot more of the creative stuff, more blogging, like all the stuff that is my best self and I enjoy and I really am passionate about. And so maybe you need to do less. Maybe you need to start delegating. Maybe you need to ask for help. Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need support. Maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you need to start a mastermind group. One of my friends started a mastermind group back in January that I've been a part of, and it's been amazing. And she had thought about it for years and years about starting one, and she finally just did it. And it's been rocky because we had 5 moms that are business owners, and 2 of them quit back in March, but we found 2 other women to join us. And so now it's rocky. It's not always easy, but it's been super, super helpful for all of our businesses, and just together as moms too. We can if something's happening, with our kids, or someone has a cold, or, anything like that, we have that support network to reach out to, where I might not go to Love Your Work and Life ladies, because you probably don't want to know all about my daughter and like the issues we're having, or, about our family. But I can go to that group of like 5 people with like this really tough situation I'm in, or something like that. So having that group that's just like gonna have your back is really, really important. So maybe you need to do something like that. And then I also wrote like, stop looking at other people too. That's a big one. I know there's a lot of other people doing things out there, and it's really easy to get distracted and start trying to be like other people. And so that's been a huge thing for me this has always been something I've tried to do, but even more so this last month, is just stop listening to, all of the other emails and podcasts and like everything that's filling up my brain, and start creating my own stuff. And so that's me be doing more Facebook Lives, doing more podcasts, doing more blogging, doing more stuff like this, and really getting my own creativity out, and really, me out, rather than having it be like someone else. So doing more of what you love, doing more, for me, that's teaching and blogging. But really, who do you have to become to make these top 3 things happen? So I hope you guys are writing all this down. But I do also want to highlight, so I had 2 calls yesterday with two women. I don't know if they're on the call, but I wanted to kind of highlight a couple issues that they were having, because I think it relates to a lot of other people. The first one, she said she was having issues with her time and figuring out how she would have the time to start the business. And, we went through and we talked about it, and she knew she had more potential than her current job, and she, wanted to do something else, but she just, after she got home from her 9 to 5, she just had no energy, wanted to hang out with her friends. And so I think this is really important, and I put this in today's challenge too, is like, you have to keep doing what you don't want to do. And that's what growing is. That's how you can grow yourself. It's not easy, and you don't want to do it. So what we talked about, where I always mention this, is morning times, because that's when my business really changed, when I figured out how to use my morning time better and make some like big improvements. I don't think I would be here tonight. I wouldn't even have come up with Halfway Hustle if I wasn't up in the mornings, knocking out at least 2 hours of focused time in the morning before my daughter wakes up. So it's not easy, like that alarm clock is not fun at 5 in the morning. The TV is not on at night too much in our household, but that's fun. Like, I'd love to watch more TV. But it's discipline, and it's disciplining yourself those 15 minutes here and there. And it's, a lot of times we're on Facebook, and we can waste a lot of time. So thinking about that stuff, like, what is it that you don't want to do that can help you get closer? And as we talked about it, she told me that she was going to wake up earlier and start using her morning time to start working on her own goals. Because what happens, most of you are in jobs other than, where you want to be. And so if you're not waking up and working on your career first, on your goals first, you're going to start accomplishing someone else's goals first. When you go into work, you're going to be your best self working on their goals. And so we want to flip that. We want to be your best self when you're the best. Some people it's morning, some people it's night. Usually it's morning. Right when you wake up, you want to devote that to your career goals as much as possible. And then the other call I had that I wanted to share too was, this girl, she knew that she had what her passion was, to help high school girls. She had this huge passion. I mean, I love when I get to talk to people about their goals and what they want, because like I get goosebumps, because people are afraid to tell other people what their passions and goals really are. And so it's like almost the first time they're actually saying this out loud, and I'm their cheerleader, right? I'm like, oh, that's awesome, and really excited for them. But the whole point of that is like, she was scared, fear was holding her back. And what she needed to think about, and my advice to her, and would be to you guys too, if what you want to do is to help other people, like, those people need you. Like, those high school girls that she wanted to do speaking events to, like, those girls need her. And so taking the focus off your fear and what if I fail and what are other people going to think, and instead put it on, these girls need me, I'm going to serve them, I'm going to make a difference. And that's what I try and do here. What I've tried to do a lot more over this last month too is just to really think about providing value, helping you. That's why we launched CCG TV as well, just to answer your questions every day on YouTube. And so just providing you guys with as much value as possible. That's how you want to look too if you want to help other people in whatever career that you're going into. Most of the women that are in the community want to help people, and so that's my little like push for you guys. Like, stop worrying about yourself and what people are going to think and your fears, and start thinking about the people out there that need your tips and advice and coaching and support and speaking and all that stuff. They need you. That was one of the big light bulbs when I traveled to Brazil and I did my first international speaking event. Like, I got on stage and like they were just like so excited to have me fly all the way and speak to them in English. They were all wearing headphones, like they couldn't even understand me. And then afterward, there was like this huge long line to meet me. And it was like my light bulb moment. Like, this isn't about me like trying to figure out how to get a visa to go to Brazil with my 3-month-old daughter, which is crazy. But like, it was so hard to get there. And it was all about me. Like, why am I doing this? This is so hard. So scared to go to an international country and speak to them, like what if they didn't like me, all that stuff, and then to realize afterward like how impactful it was, what a difference it made when they were, I was like they told me I was one of the first women that they had ever seen tell them that they can have the career that they want, and so looking back, it's like I needed to go there to make that difference and serve them. And if I just would have not gone because I was scared, like I couldn't have helped them. So don't let fear get in the way. The other thing I recommend for all these goals that you're writing down today, I always keep my goals on a little note card, and I keep the note card in my office. So that way it's, I try and look at it on a weekly basis, but it's more like maybe a monthly basis that I do look at these goals, but they're written down so that today, like when I did this, and maybe that is why it didn't take me too long to do this hustle today. It was like another 10 minutes today to do it, is because I just went to my note card of goals that I wrote at the beginning of the year and kind of evaluated like some things like aren't as important to me anymore. I don't have the why and the fire behind me to do them. So maybe they'll be a next year thing. So that's why it's important too to kind of think, what do you want to do in the next 6 months, and what's maybe a 2017 goal? Like maybe you should write a 2017 column as well and start putting things in there of things that maybe would fit better next year. So that you want to make the big push in the next 6 months so that we don't have to repeat these same goals on January 1st, 2017. We can knock some stuff out so our 2017 goals can really take us to that next level. And I'm right there with you guys too. I got some big goals too. I recently just shared my goals with my mastermind group like last week. And this is what I mean about cheerleaders too. Like, this wasn't just the goal I have here of helping the 500 women this year. Like, these were goals of like going to the next level with the whole Classy Career Girl brand and really, really taking it to the next level. And I'd never really told anyone, what my real goals were and where I really wanted to take the brand. And so it was really scary to tell them. And I was like, super scared. And their response was like, if anyone can do it, you can do it, and it was just like, oh, they believe in me. I think Ida was in the Facebook group and I said, you're going to have an awesome 6 months. I can't wait to see it. And she's like, thank you for believing in me. And that's what they did for me too. So it's like, you need to get around a group of people who are going to say that, who are going to believe in your goals and help you get there. Let's see, what else did I want to say too? Oh, also putting your vision and your mission on your inspiration board is really important as well. And thinking before the month hits too, I just wanted to talk about how I do my planning. So before each month hits, like I just did this today since I was doing this whole goals thing today, is I planned out what I want to do in July next month. So before the first of the month hits, I always know what my goals are for that month. And And then I do that every Sunday night as well before the week starts. I always know exactly what my top 3 priorities are for that week. So I was at an event back in March for Infusionsoft, the software we use for our marketing system. And there was a speaker, and he said that 1% of your, I think his name was Scott Harris, he said 1% of your time should be devoted to planning. And so that's 128 minutes per week. It's, one day every 90 days, and it's 2 to 3 days every year. That's how much time you should be devoted to planning rather than just doing. So you can get a lot farther if you do what we're doing today, which you're doing, so awesome. But you can get a lot farther in your career and your business and your goals if you do put that much time into planning. So think, 128 minutes per week. Are you putting that much time into planning out your week, what you're going to do every day, what you're going to do each week, what you're going to do every month, what you're going to do every 90 days. And then obviously once we hit January, we'll do another fun thing like this too, to plan out the rest of the year. But I think this is really, really important. Like I've said before, we have the tendency just to coast right now. It's summer, 4th of July is about to hit. I know I was out at the pool earlier today, just wanted to hang out there all day. But it's important, to really refocus here, because if you do this now, we can knock out a lot of stuff so that next year can be even more fun when we come together and do another planning session about 2017, because we'll be there before we know it. I know, time flies. So I think we do have some time for some questions. So if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box on the screen. We also have a chat box. Okay, so I see we have a question came in from Mary Ellen, and then everyone's cheering you on, Mary Ellen, because Mary Ellen was telling me before this call started that she got a new client today. So awesome, she's in my Corporate Rescue Plan program, so yay, we're cheering her on, and everyone else in the chat is cheering Mary Ellen on too. So go Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen's question is, long-term goals are hard to set. She doesn't know what to expect, so any ideas? So Mary Ellen, I think that's totally fine. It's totally normal to be confused about long-term, and you have had so much progress in the first 6 months that who knows where you're going to be by January, right? You're going to do so much these next 6 months before we hit 2017. So really my tip, the best tip for you is to break it into 2 90-day plans. You guys all know I love 90-day plans. If you don't have my free 90-day planner, you can get that at www.classycareergirl.com/free plan, because I think so much is possible in 90 days. I always do this. I actually have this. I have a whiteboard over here, and I actually have my next 90 days all planned out, what I'm going to do each month. And so that's my recommendation. Don't worry as much about long-term. Break it into 2 90-day chunks over these next 6 months. And then my other tip for you, instead of thinking long-term goals, because you're a business owner, I would focus more on your vision and your mission. So that's really what changed everything for us back in March, when we created that mission of helping 2,000 women launch their dream careers and businesses by 2018. So I know, Mary Ellen, you have your vision and mission. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. So I would just stay focused on that, because that will really help you guide your short-term goals and help you figure out what you should be doing over these next 6 months when you do have that bigger vision and that bigger mission that you're working towards long term. That's what we have at Classy Career Girl too. Like, we're working towards a long-term vision, but we, when we're planning, we plan it into the 90-day increments and the annual increments. Okay, also I do want to say, for those of you that are with us tonight or watching this recording, if you want to take your job search or your business to the next level, and you're really serious about growing your business, or really, picking it up a notch for your job search and really finding the job of your dreams, I want to invite you to our dollar trial in our membership sites, in our membership communities. I can't even tell you how much great stuff is in there and how amazing the women are in there. So it's not even about me. Like, of course I have that mission I was just telling you. These membership sites that I've created help me accomplish that mission to help 2,000 women launch their dream careers and businesses. But ultimately, it's these communities that I'm creating, these other amazing women that are helping to support you. And it's really what we were talking about earlier, where it is that that supportive person that has your back, that can help you, push you forward, and not tell you that you're crazy, get you out of your fear mindset, and really help you accomplish these goals for the next 6 months that you're laying out here. So I'd love for you to join us if you are wanting to start a business or grow your business. Maybe you are a business owner and you want to expand your reach online. That's one of my favorite things to help people with. Then you want to check out the Corporate Rescue Plan. You can learn more about trying the Corporate Rescue Plan for $1 at www.corporaterescueplan.com/try it. And if you're a job searcher, or maybe you have no idea what you want to do with your career, with your life, what your calling is, none of that, you have no, mission and purpose sounds scary to you, then you want to join us in Love Your Career Formula. Also, if you need help with resumes or, salary negotiation, cover letters, LinkedIn, networking, all of that stuff is covered in Love Your Career Formula. And you can learn more about joining that community at www.loveyourcareerformula.com/try it. And that is where all of our workbooks and guides are. I know we've had a lot of questions about how do you get the Halfway Hustle workbook, and that's where it is. Everything, everything you could imagine, workbooks, guides, training materials is in the membership site. So that's where you want to go if you want a workbook to stay organized through the Halfway Hustle. So that is all. I don't see any other questions that have come in tonight. So thank you all for joining me, for watching this. If you're watching the replay, thank you for putting in the work, for being here with me tonight. I can't wait to celebrate with you on December 31st, 2016, because you guys are going to make some amazing things happen, and I can't wait to support you and help you get there. So that's all for tonight. Everyone have a great night. Bye, everyone.